Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Carshénah with versefilmsproductions, and this is SCREAMTOBER. I'll be doing a video a day for 31 days up into Halloween, so let's get started.
Welcome to Verse Films Productions' annual SCREAMTOBER here on our horror channel. I'm your host, Carshénah, and I've got 31 days to get you in the mood for Halloween. Join me as I share a video a day with a new theme each week that you will find scary, haunting, and sometimes just plain fun. Let's get into it. Welcome to Alphabet Horror Week, 26 horror movies from A to Z, so be sure to count down your favorite alphabet soup killings this week. Let's get started. Amityville, It's About Time, 1992, starring Stephen Mack, Sean Weatherly, Megan Ward, Damon Martin, and Nita Talbot. When architect Jake Sterling returns home to California from a business meeting in New York, he brings back a surprise, an antique mantel clock he found on the ruins of a demolished house in Amityville. However, as the vintage item finds its place on the fireplace mantel, bizarre supernatural incidents begin to occur, and unfathomable dark powers start to take control not only of the Sterling's house, but also the family's lives. Now, an ancient evil has returned and it seeks revenge. Directed by Tony Randall, editor and director known for Hellbound, Hellraiser 2 in 1988, The Hybrids 2015, and Escape from New York 1981. Streaming free on Tubi, Freevee, Pluto, Roku, and Amazon Prime. This sixth entry ignores whatever the Amityville curse was doing and continues the theme of the fourth film, which involves cursed items from the infamous house being sold off to new owners. It's About Time obviously centers on the possession topic and has the occasional poltergeist scenes provoked by the clock's evil glow. The sequels have been hit and miss. In the 1990s, the Amityville curse was abhorred by many. I actually somewhat enjoyed it, but that's a whole other story. As the installments in this series progress, they tended to sprawl out to the point that each haunting is incidentally connected to the Amityville house via objects rather than geography. Rated R with a runtime of 1 hour and 35 minutes. Battle Royale 2000. 42 students, 3 days, 1 deserted island. Welcome to Battle Royale. A group of 9th grade students from a Japanese high school has been forced by legislation to compete in a battle royale. The students are sent off to kill one another in a no-holds-barred game to the death until one survives or they all die. Some, like psychotic Kiriyama and sensual Mitsuko, decide to play the game while others are trying to find a way to get off the island without violence. However, as the numbers dwindle, is there any way for Shuya and his classmates to survive? Streaming free on Freevee, Pluto, Tubi, Plex, and Amazon Prime. No need for a very long prologue before we enter the main act. Each of the 42 pupils involved in this game are not volunteers. No one really would be. And of course, they are forced to kill their best friends, girlfriends, in order to survive this horror. This movie, of course, came out well before the popular book and movie franchise, The Hunger Games. Some would say that The Hunger Games is a copycat, an Americanized version, but with bigger star power for actors. There is no real meaning to this violence. The students know this, but it cannot be avoided. Highly disturbing, rated R for very, very violent, but nonetheless interesting events. Here's some quick fun facts. None of the cast had any stunt doubles, not even the lead, Tatsuya Fujiwara. Battle Royale, game on. Cherry Falls, 1999, starring the late Brittany Murphy, Jay Moore, Michael Bain, and Jesse Bradford. A psychotic serial slasher starts a bloodthirsty murder rampage at Cherry Falls High School that only kills the local high school virgins. This leads to the local teenage population organizing a sex party in order to lose their virginity and thus no longer be targets. With a tagline that says, Lose Your Innocence or Lose Your Life makes a powerful statement for teen abstinence. This horror thriller never had a cinematic US release, so don't worry if you've never heard of it before. At first sight, Cherry Falls is one of the many harmless teen slashers that came out in the late 1990s and the early aughts, and what was called the horror revival, started by Scream back in 1996. While the movie can't hide the trademarks of its generation, and it is definitely not very original, it does offer some new twists to traditional cliches on the genre and a higher quality than the rest of the slashers of its time. Also, it is fair to point out that the movie we know as Cherry Falls is not what its director Jeffrey Wright conceived originally. It suffered several cuts to attain an R rating, losing most of its planned edginess. The story is set in the small town of Cherry Falls, where suddenly a mysterious figure begins to kill the virgins in town. Sheriff Brent Markin, played by Michael Bain, is especially concerned about the case, not only because he knows that his beloved daughter Jody, played by Brittany Murphy, is a virgin, but also because the case brings back memories of a dark event in Cherry Falls' past. Meanwhile, the local teenagers organize a huge party to have sex and stop being potential victims. Written by Ken Selden, the story mixes dark comedy with the horror genre, pretty much in the vein of Scream, using a clever twist to the genre cliche of the virginal survivors. The mystery of the killer's identity is very well handled, and the story unfolds as Jody's investigation takes her to discover the town's past. Surprisingly, the movie never gets boring or tedious, and it serves purpose as a thrilling mystery horror film, streaming on AMC Plus, or you can rent or buy on Amazon Prime.